Hello again. It's so great to be back with you. I'm so excited to kind of finish this story that we started yesterday. The Israelites were facing some persecution in Ezra chapter 4. They were dealing with some opposition against building this temple that they had been decreed to rebuild, right, for their God. The king of Persia had said, go ahead and rebuild this temple to your God. But a couple of kings later, we have these people trying to tear them down, trying to stop them, trying to keep them from doing what they know they're supposed to be doing. And so in Ezra chapter 6, we've seen some letters go back and forth in chapter 4 and 5, trying to figure out who is right. And in Ezra chapter 6, verse 1, King Darius then issued an order, and they searched in the archives stored in the treasury of Babylon. Verse 2, a scroll was found in the citadel and in the province of Media, and this is what was written on it. Verse 3, in the first year of King Cyrus, the king issued a decree concerning the temple of God in Jerusalem. Let the temple be rebuilt as a place to present sacrifices, and its foundations be laid. So we have this opportunity here to see that the Israelites did it the right way. They didn't just go against the king. They didn't just do what they wanted. They didn't just give it upon themselves to say, let's do this on our own, whether the king likes it or not. They went about it the right way. They got King Cyrus to decree that it must be done, and it was written down. They had proof, and so here we have this opposition getting completely thwarted, right? We have this opposition being able to say to the opposition, we are in the right here. We are doing the right thing. We've gone about it the right way. And so I want to challenge us today as we think about that, this opportunity that we have to see how when we do it the right way, God provides. Sometimes we want to get ahead of ourselves. Sometimes we want to go ahead and do the impossible, and that's a wonderful thing to do, but sometimes we have to start with the necessary. I heard it on the radio this morning, and I thought it was so great from the message. They said sometimes we have to start with the necessary and then do the possible, and all of a sudden we're doing the impossible. And I just absolutely loved that thought, because sometimes we have to start with the necessary, and in some cases that means going through getting the right permits, kind of like what the Israelites did, right? But also it just means making sure that we're keeping our people safe. It means making sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and making sure that we are doing the right thing, not just for us, but for the people around us. We have to make sure that we are not getting so caught up in the glory and the amazing impossibilities that God can do, and forgetting to go about it with the right steps, forgetting to go about it in the right way. Because God can do the impossible, and we have to remember that He can work and He can make it happen where it seems like there's no way. But we have to make sure that we are doing our due diligence, right? So, and I love this picture of Israel. They made sure they had this decree. They made sure that they were in the right by the king. And this story turns out wonderfully. The king says, listen, they need to be allowed to finish this temple. They need to be allowed to do what God has told them to do, because King Cyrus decreed it. King Cyrus said it is the right thing to do. So I want this to be just a reminder to us today that when we set out to do the impossible, we need to start with the necessary. We need to start and make sure that we are absolutely doing our best to do right by everyone around us. And so today, I just want to pray with you as we wrap up, and I want to encourage you to just truly remember your neighbor. As we are loving on them, as we are doing God's work, remember to keep them in their safety and their peace of mind, and in your mind as well. Dear God, we just thank you so much. God, we thank you